Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing out their action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the McFarlane DC Multiverse Hush Superman. This is a Ross exclusive, and it's a bare bone release with no accessories, sort of a value release, cheaper packaging. Who would have ever thought there would be Ross exclusive McFarlane figures? Well, here they are. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see at the top, DC Multiverse, ages 12 plus. Superman from Hush. Here he is in the package. Kind of looks interesting with a cape wrapped around him. On the back, there's Superman from Hush, controlled by Poison Ivy. And there's his barcode, if it helps. So with no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now that this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. And that was kind of a joke, as sort of the whole point of this figure is he's a cheaper version of Superman with absolutely no accessories. A bare bone release, or rather re-release, of the Hush Superman. The original version came with a flight stand, a collector's card, and 4 interchangeable hands. This one comes with nothing. Now, seeing as how I didn't get this guy from an actual Ross store, to my knowledge they haven't hit in the US quite yet, but they should be just around the corner. I'm not 100% sure what the price point is. I was thinking $9.99, maybe $12.99, maybe $14.99, but frankly I have no idea. They can't be super low where it's going to piss people off, because it kind of shows they can release these figures with just a couple of missing items that add very little value for a much cheaper price. So I think $9.99 is probably too cheap. The figures are starting to cost about $25 each for regular figures, and hell, a lot more for some of the collectors and digital and page puncher and all that sort of stuff. So $9.99 seems like it's going to be a little too cheap. So my guess it's probably going to be about $15.99. I have no idea. What do you guys think? Does anyone know? Anyone have any guesses? Drop me a line in the comments below. In the meantime, I want to take a look at this figure. I really want to see the differences between this one and the previous version, and I don't really expect there to be any. The main difference from what I've seen is going to be the fact that the cape is sort of wrapped around his leg. And I kind of think it's kind of cool. Normally the cape should be stretched out going to his right side, but because they wanted to fit him into this blister package, they had to wrap it around his legs. And that makes him at least a little bit different from the other one, and to tell you the truth, I kind of want to see what it look like hovering in the Metropolis skies with a cape wrapped around him. Could be cool, could be dumb, we'll find out soon. This figure is done on the infected Superman body. It's a good body, but god, it was used to death. They have made so many Superman figures on this body. I'm glad they've pretty much retired it and upgraded it with the Crisis Superman body. So let's take a closer look. Start with his face here. A very stern looking face. Skin feels kind of pale. I remember it being like that on the original release. He's got the little extra sort of hair there, the spit curl as always. Now Superman in Hush is really just a traditional looking modern Superman. The darker blue, red trunks, perfect Superman logo on the chest. This is done with the infected body, and it's kind of noticeable just the way they designed it, but it's not bad. The biggest issue would be how the sort of the top part of the torso, it gets significantly smaller in the stomach area, and it's kind of noticeable on the two sides. The wrists are cast in flesh color, and that's how it's supposed to be. It looks pretty good. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. Like I said, the cape is wrapped around him, and to tell you the truth, I've been trying to keep it this way and not let it stretch back out, because I kind of like having it like this and like having the other one the other way. Superman logo on the back, and I love it when they do that. So overall, it's a good figure, and it's a good choice for a re-release at Ross. The 3 figures that they've chosen are the Hush Superman, the 3 Jokers Batman, and the James Gunn movie David Cornsworth Superman, and they're all pretty good sellers, and I imagine Ross will have no problem clearancing them out. Now imagine if they don't sell at Ross, then who's Ross going to send it to clearance them out? And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Has a serious, stern expression, sort of square jaw. Seems a little bit bulky in the neck area for a normal Superman. The hair is a little bit more modern. I think it looks good overall, just not great. This was my favorite Superman figure for a long time. Him in the Action Comics 1000. Now to check out the reuse differences and similarities between this Ross exclusive Hush Superman and the original version. And they are 100% the same figure. Same sculpt, same articulation, different accessories, same paint job, cape slightly warped on the new one. And I kind of like that. Let's take a closer look. Now, look at their heads. The skin tone looks very similar. Now mine has a few pieces of paint missing in the hair just from sort of use over time, so it's nice to have a refresh. My original one is also a little bit loose in the torso. He likes to kind of lean to his right. And you keep fixing it, just keeps going back there. So it's pretty loose in the torso area, just from having him for a long time. So it's kind of nice to have a refresh. This guy is nice and tight, all the joints. The blue is exactly the same color, so is the red. The skin tone's pretty much the same. The only real difference is this guy had the cape wrapped up to fit in the package, and I kind of see it's loosening over time, so I'm going to have to probably heat it up and twist it back in there, because I kind of like having them look at least a little bit different. Now, of course, the original one had an extra pair of hands, and then the Flight Stand Collector's Card, but as expected, not a big deal. This is truly a value Superman. McFarlane has now made 3 Hush Superman figures. We have the standard release from Hush, the Ross exclusive release, and then the angry McFarlane Toy Store version where Poison Ivy hadn't taken over. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his lack of accessories, let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing about 7.1 inches tall, which can translate to around 18 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, you're going to rotate side to side. He can look up about that far, down pretty good amount as well. Can tilt his head at least a little bit from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint goes up a little bit more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around. He's got the butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest. Increase the range of motion and covering the gap that would be there. Bicep cut below that. Double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate and it's hinged as well. Ball joint his torso. Rotate around. Forward and back. Another one in his waist. Rotate around. Forward and back. Between the two, very good range of motion in the torso area. Legs, complete as splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is non-existent. Legs go forward, about that far. Back not much. Double jointed knees. And his ankle. Forward and back. Rotate. Tilt, rock. And toe articulation. Here's a look at this Superman hovering above the skies of Metropolis. And here's a look at the original Hush Superman in a similar photo I took a couple years ago. Superman hovers above this rooftop. He sees Poison Ivy and knows she's up to something no good. Superman approaches Ivy, not concerned about anything. He knows he's completely invulnerable. Ivy sneaks Superman a kiss. She has kryptonite-infused lipstick. Little does Superman know, his overconfidence is going to be his undoing. At this point, Poison Ivy has complete control over Superman. He's got the vines on him. He looks angry. He is her slave. Eventually, Batman gets on the rooftop. He's trying to talk sense into Clark. Frankly, it's just not working. Superman lunges toward Batman. Poison Ivy says, "Kill him." Superman uses his heat vision and genuinely attempts to kill Batman. But Batman always has a backup plan. He has Catwoman somewhere else in Metropolis on a rooftop. She has Lois Lane. Batman's plan is to threaten to kill Lois, and hopefully Superman's love for Lois will be strong enough to break his hypnotized state. Now, without Batman's permission, Catwoman actually goes through with it. She throws Lois Lane off the rooftop. Lois Lane is screaming. It could be heard all across Metropolis, especially by Superman. This is enough to break his spell. He ends up saving Lois Lane. Batman is pissed with Catwoman, but sometimes the ends do justify the means. Now let's check them out. Next is about their action figures, starting off with some of their McFarlane and Superman figures. Here's the Hush Superman, next to the Infected Superman. This is an older figure from the Dark Knight's Metal Wave, and this first introduced the infected body, which they've used time and time and time again on the Hush Superman, the First Appearance Superman, the Justice Lord Superman. It just goes on. And it's not a bad base body, but it's just been done to death. Here are a bunch of different McFarlane DC Multiverse figures that utilize this infected base body. And here he is, next to the Action Comics 1000 and Page Puncher Superman figures, a couple normal comic-based Superman figures. Then, with the 90s buff mullet Superman and the Silver Age digital Superman. And now, with the Injustice 2 and Page Puncher armored Superman figures. Next, with some live-action Superman figures, Christopher Reeve, Henry Cavill, and David Cornsweet. Here are all the McFarlane DC Multiverse Superman figures that came out before this year, and here are all the Superman figures that McFarlane has released in the past 3 or 4 months, since I took that other photo. Here are all the different members of the Superman family that McFarlane has given us. We have John Kent, Eradicator, Steel, Superman, Supergirl, Krypto, Connor Kent Superboy, which is the same as the Con-El Kent Superboy, Val-Zod, Streaky, and Power Girl. What's the next member of the Superman family that you think they need to make? They've covered pretty much all the basics. I mean, I would love a Lois Lane, but I'm talking more so the superpowered allies. Now to check out McFarlane's entire Hush line. Here are all the Superman figures that McFarlane has made based off Hush. The regular, the Ross, and the Angry. And here he is with all the McFarlane Hush Batman figures. We have the sketch version, the single blue release, the single black release, and the Angry 2-pack version. Then, with McFarlane's Hush figures, which they also made 4 of, we have both the regular and platinum versions of the single release, the Angry 2-pack, and the Jokerized version, giving us McFarlane's entire Hush collection. We have 11 figures, but only 3 characters, Hush, Batman, and Superman. We do have an upcoming Hush Riddler figure coming out, and I'm looking forward to that one, but I would love to get any and all the characters from Hush they could possibly make. Now let's check them out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is with the rest of the Ross exclusive figures. We have the 3 Joker's Batman, Hush Superman, and James Gunn movie Superman figures. Here's this Superman, next to the Target exclusive Sandman and Mr. Miracle. And here he is, next to the most recent Collector's Edition figures, both the regular and platinum chase variants of Metron, Kite Man, Dark Archer, and Dark Stars. And here he is, with the black and white accent, Dark Knight Returns Superman, Grim Knight, and Year 2 Batman. Then, with the most recent Batman wave, we have the Troika Batman, Kenner Homage Azrael, and Luke Fox Batwing. And now, with the most recent digital wave, both the regular and platinum chase variants of the No Man's Land Batman, Monarch, Spoiler, and Disco Nightwing. Here's Superman, next to the most recent wave of Page Punchers, the Golden Age Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor, and then the regular and platinum versions of Superboy. And here he is, with some McFarlane cover recreations. We have the Kingdom Come Superman, Dark Knight Returns Batman, and the infamous Stolen Killing Joke Joker. Then, with the Dark Knight's Metal, Merciless, and the Batman Who Laughs 2-pack. And now, with the green and yellow Rainbow Batman figures. And finally, with the Patina Wonder Woman, Nightmare Arkham City Batman, Jokerized Dick Grayson Robin, and Blacklight Etrigan the Demon. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix him with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they are typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller, and I'm going to include as many Superman figures as I can during these comparisons. Since we already checked him out, next to all the other McFarlane Superman figures, here he is with some more McFarlane toys. In front of you are 5 different action figures, all McFarlane toys, all 7-inch scale, and now, with some Jakks Pacific Wrestling figures and Diamond Select toys. Here's Superman, next to an itty-bitty container of leftovers from Panda Express. And here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA Superman figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares Wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel Superman figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, with some SH Figuarts and Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, I think it's a really good Superman figure. I think it's a great choice to make as a re-release, as a Ross exclusive for a cheaper figure, to possibly draw more people into the Multiverse line. He's a regular, modern-looking Superman. Now here are my complaints. The fists, the hands are a little bit too big. The face a little bit too blocky, a little bit too pale, and it's on that body that we've seen done to death. But I still have a really high opinion of the Hush Superman. He was, I guess, my second favorite Superman figure. Action Comics 1000 was my favorite for a very long time, but now the Silver Age Digital one has taken the throne. Still, this is a nice figure, and depending on what the price is, it could be a great value. I know there are no accessories, but that's part of the point. If I were to rate the Hush Superman, I'd probably give him a solid 7 out of 10, even all these years later. And mine's gotten kind of loose and had a couple little paint chips, so it's nice to have a fresh one in the mix. So this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.